Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a highlight reel of brilliant minds who are all connected by one single, almost magical date on the calendar.
May 26th. You know, it might seem like just another ordinary day, but it's actually one of the absolute most vital dates in the entire history of mathematics. And today, we're going to see exactly why that is.
On this one specific date, spanning across centuries and continents, four incredible minds asked questions that fundamentally built the modern world. From 1667 all the way to 1977, let's follow this golden thread and meet them one by one.
So first up, have you ever actually wondered how life insurance companies, or those super complex algorithms in our data apps, seem to just magically predict future risks out of pure randomness? Like, how do they look at a world of infinite, chaotic possibilities and actually know what's going to happen next?
Well, the answer takes us all the way back to May 26, 1667, with the birth of a French pioneer named Abraham de Moivre. This was a guy who was utterly obsessed with finding order inside randomness. He was always looking for the secret rules that govern what looks like total chaos.
He basically pioneered the entire mathematical framework of probability theory. You see, before him, probability was mostly just about figuring out gambling odds. But by developing what we now call the normal curve, that familiar bell-shaped distribution you probably remember from statistics class, de Moivre proved that you could actually calculate the precise likelihood of almost any event happening. That exact mathematical foundation completely transformed how we view the future. It's literally what powers modern risk assessment, allowing our complex insurance systems, financial models, and predictive data algorithms to actually function today.
And his legacy was absolutely profound. Even his contemporaries knew they were dealing with a total genius. Reportedly, Isaac Newton himself would wave off complex math questions by telling people, "Go to Mr. de Moivre, he knows these things better than I do." He essentially proved that the chaos of chance is actually ruled by perfect invisible mathematics.
Okay, let's fast forward to a totally different era, but on that exact same magical date. Have you ever wondered how your online banking and private messages stay completely secure from hackers, even when they're zipping across public networks?
That question brings us to the death of Frank Nelson Cole on May 26, 1926. He was a deeply dedicated American mathematician whose absolute, undeniable obsession was the enigmatic, infinite world of prime numbers. Now check out this colossal number. Cole famously spent 3 uninterrupted years calculating the specific prime factors of this absolute monster of a number. And get this, he did it entirely by hand, just calculating away on Sundays when he wasn't teaching. When he finally presented his findings, the audience actually gave him a standing ovation without a single word being spoken. It might sound like just a neat parlor trick for math nerds, but today, our entire global internet security infrastructure relies on exactly this kind of complex, massive prime number math to encrypt and lock down our most sensitive data. He achieved the insane distinction of being the very first human to factor 2 to the power of 67 minus 1. The unbreakable digital locks that secure our modern, hyper-connected lives today are directly built from the exact prime numbers he dedicated his entire life to cracking. Let's pivot slightly here. Look at the watch on your wrist. Why exactly do we measure time with exactly 60 seconds in a minute or map a circle using precisely 360 degrees instead of a nice, clean base 10 number like 100? To solve that enduring mystery, we have to look to the birth of a brilliant Austrian historian of mathematics named Otto Neugebauer. And he was born on, you guessed it, May 26, 1899.
Neugebauer dedicated his life to painstakingly translating ancient, unbaked Babylonian clay tablets that had somehow survived for millennia in the desert dust. And in doing so, he made a staggering, world-altering discovery about their civilization. They used a highly complex base 60 mathematical system. He revealed that our everyday concepts of time and geometry weren't recent European inventions at all. No, they were actually conceived and used thousands of years ago in ancient Mesopotamia.
By establishing the sheer richness of Babylonian mathematics, he completely shifted how we view human history. Every single time you check your watch to see how many minutes have passed, or measure an angle in a geometry class, you are literally reading the ancient math that he brought back into the light.
One single date, so many world-altering stories, and we aren't even done yet. Have you ever wondered how your phone's weather app knows exactly when a massive storm is going to hit your specific neighborhood tomorrow?
The secret to this modern weather magic ties back to the death of Welsh mathematician Oliver Graham Sutton on May 26, 1977.
He looked up at the sky and saw not just clouds, but an intricate puzzle just waiting to be solved.
Sutton basically revolutionized the entire field of meteorology by breaking the sky down into distinct, calculable mathematical steps. First, he analyzed atmospheric turbulence using complex math models, figuring out exactly how heat and wind interact. Next, he applied those rigorous models to calculate the diffusion of air and massive weather patterns all across the globe. And finally, he used all that calculated data to accurately predict meteorological changes over time. He essentially took the chaotic, totally unpredictable winds of the Earth and tamed them into the highly predictable formulas that power the weather apps right in your pocket.
As his legacy states, he made absolutely critical foundational contributions by applying pure mathematics directly to meteorology. Because of his profound work, the chaotic storms in our skies could finally be tamed, tracked, and accurately predicted.
So look at the golden thread weaving through this entire timeline. Every pioneer we met today, from the 1600s all the way through to the 1970s, across entirely different centuries and continents, ultimately asked the exact same fundamental question: what is the hidden mathematical pattern hiding inside the chaos?
And because they dared to search for those exact patterns, our modern world functions the way it does right now. From life insurance and statistical forecasting, to secure digital banking, to the very clocks we read daily and the weather apps on our phones, it all miraculously ties back to their interconnected work.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder. As we look at the wildly complex world around us today, what hidden, world-changing pattern do you think the next mathematical pioneer is going to discover on May 26th?